go. All right, so welcome to this STARTIMPULSE online. So thank you so much for being so many. So just a quick presentation about IFJ and the ecosystem around IFJ. So we are an organization that's going to support entrepreneurs in their incorporations. So we are incorporating LTDs, LCs, sole proprietorship, and general partnership all over Switzerland, thanks to our online portal. We're also working with our sister company called Venture Lab. Venture Lab is supporting high-tech startups all over Switzerland through different programs, including Venture Kick. Venture Kick is a competition and foundation to support pre-seed money for high-tech projects. So you can earn up to 150,000 when you apply to Venture Kick. It's a competition in 3 stages. A first stage, you can earn up to 10,000 as a grant. Then it's going to be 40,000 as a convertible loan. And if you are able to reach the last stage, is going to be the 100,000 left. And then we also being commissioned by InnoSwiss. InnoSwiss is the Commission of Innovation and Technology in Switzerland. And if you are looking and you have a project in biotech, medtech, ICT, or advanced engineering, you can apply. And if you are selected, you're going to get 5 days of workshop over 6 weeks in order to be challenged by coaches in these specific fields, but also access a network of investors and entrepreneurs. Among the missions of IFJ, the first one is to inform entrepreneurs about how to become an entrepreneur. So we have courses in business plan, in business and how to incorporate in Switzerland. And we also have documents such as checklists to help you go through the incorporation. And we also have our own tool, IFJ Business Plan tool, to help you create your own business plan. Then, of course, we have our online portal. That online portal will help you to incorporate. So you just need to go on ifj.ch, select the legal form, and the team of lawyers and notaries will take care of you through each step for the incorporation until the registration with the Register of Commerce. As soon as you did it, you will also access our platform of partners in order to help you go even further. And then, of course, to get started is to benefit from the different partnerships, such as Bexio for accounting. We also have courses in accounting, marketing, and sales. We also provide, of course, workshops such as this one in order to really help you benefit from experienced entrepreneurs. And of course, last but not least, is the legal advice. We also have our online mutation service if you have any modification for the Register of Commerce. So today we will have Melita Campbell. She's going to talk about how to make marketing work for your business. It's avoiding the top 6 mistakes most entrepreneurs make when marketing their offer. Melita is supporting a lot of women entrepreneurs all over Switzerland, and she's located in the Canton, and so she's speaking from Canton today. So I'm going to give the word to her, and I'm very excited for you to listen to Melita. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I'll move over to, okay, I need to scoot forward a bit, sorry. Why is that not moving forward? So I'm just trying to get the slides to move forward. Yeah, here we go. Right, great. Hello. So hi everyone, I'm really excited to be here today talking to you about how to make marketing work for your business. It's one of the most common questions I get asked a lot, is just how do I get more clients? How do I get visible? How do I make people like my business and buy from me? And it all starts from the marketing process and how you start to build a connection with it and rapport within the marketplace, and position yourself correctly as well. So we're going to cover a lot this evening, so I hope you've all got a pen and paper handy to take notes, and there will be the recording if you want to go back to anything, but keep notes on the key things that come up for you, and at the end we'll have the questions as well. So if you have questions as we go through, pop them in the chat as we go along, and we'll come back to those towards the end. And so just to let you know who I am, in case you aren't familiar with me already. So I'm Melita Campbell, originally from the UK, but I've been here in Switzerland now for more than 16 years. And since '97, I've been working with business owners to help them create a business strategy and a marketing strategy that's really aligned with their growth ambitions. And I've been helping organizations of all sizes to 10x their growth, to regain their market position, to fight off competition. And I've won awards for the work I've done around branding and marketing as well. Since 2008, I started out on my own as a communication consultant, where I was working mostly with Fortune 500 leaders and leaders within the UN system, as well as a handful of solopreneurs, to really, again, help them make sure that they have the right visibility plan to help them to engage audiences externally and internally, which I always think is so important to not forget the people on the inside as well, because they're your biggest ambassadors. About 5 years ago, I had a bit of a pivot, so I decided the time was right to move all of my skills and experience, and my experience of building my own businesses as well. I had a wellness business in the middle of all of that, as to start advising solopreneurs and small businesses to help them to not just build a business that they love and that creates meaning and value within the marketplace, but create the right lifestyle around that as well. I saw a lot of people with amazing ambitions, incredible skills, fantastic products, but they weren't getting the traction they needed. They weren't really getting the recognition that they deserved, because they didn't know how to position themselves, how to communicate their value clearly, and how to engage the market and position themselves correctly as well. So that's what I've been doing for the last 5 years, and that's what I'm going to kind of try and summarize a little bit for you today, as well as signpost you to how else you can get further support after as well. I'm also a best-selling author, speaker, TEDx speaker coach at TEDx Lausanne here locally, and I'm the host of the Driven Female Entrepreneur podcast. So I'm busy. I have my 2 kids around that as well in the Swiss local system. But so I've really learned what it takes to build a lifestyle, not just a successful business as well. So it is possible. So today what we'll cover is we'll take a little bit of time to look at what marketing is, and to put that in the context of your wider business strategy as well. We'll look at the biggest mistakes I see people making over and over again, which can hold you back and cost you time, money, resources, and we'll look at how you can avoid those, and how to generate leads for your business, the right leads for your business, because I hear lots of people talking about, oh, we want more clients, and you don't want more clients, you want more of the right clients, because they are joy to work with, they bring you more customers, they don't cost you time and money, they help your business to grow the right way. More clients is not the right goal at all. And then we'll look at how to make marketing work for you, and then we'll take your questions. So before we get started, I want to take a little moment to think about what it is that you want to get from this evening. So there's a lot of you here today, and you've obviously come here for a reason. There's something that made you think that you're going to give up time with your family, time out of your business, time out with friends to spend an hour with us this evening. So I want you to think about what made you come here. What is it that you want to get out of it? Because if you're deliberate about why you're here and what your intentions are, you're more likely to get that outcome by the end of it. And it's going to help you to focus your learning and your questions, and make sure that you come out of this today with the answers you need to take that next step forward. So get deliberate and think about, why are you here today? And if you want to share that in the comments, please do. But just take a moment. Why are you here? This is a model from Brené Brown, by the way. I can't take credit for this. I think it's a really nice, simple model. So I want you to get deliberate. Why are you here? What made you come today and invest the time? And then be inspired. What's your big vision? Where do you want to be 5 years from today? And how is the information you learn today going to help you with that? So get deliberate as the information you want to get to help you move forward, and then get inspired. How is that going to help you? Where's that going to take you in the future and make your business stronger, to help you gain that clarity, that confidence, whatever it may be. So where do you want to be 5 years from today? And then finally, go for it. What else would you need to commit to making that happen? To commit to the what you want to get from today, and where you want to get to in the future, and what's going to bridge that gap? Was there any missing information that's going to hold you back from going for it? Note down what that is, and then commit to making it happen. Okay, so we'll get stuck in. So this is the 5 steps to freedom. Every business goes through 5 predictable steps on its way to growth. And it starts with the creation phase. And this is the fun and exciting bit where you start doing your research, you're determining the right business model, and you start getting ready to launch your service or your product into the marketplace. Then you get into the chaos section, and it's red for a reason. This is a point where quite a lot of businesses get stuck. They get in that heel and they spin around in circles, because this is a point where you've got your product out there, but you still need to learn, improve, to make adjustments, to test out what's really working before you can move into the control stage. So this is the point where you're really going to be investing a lot of money. You're going to be growing yourself and your team, and really moving into that control. And that control part is where it starts to really get exciting then. And at this point, you can start to measure what you're doing. You can get some KPIs in place to really understand what's working, what you need to improve, how you can incentivize people, your partners, the marketplace, and start to expand. Then you're going to get into the prosperity stage, which is where you can start to systematize your business more, have those economies of scale, and specialize as well. You can even niche further at this stage, or expand and do into different markets. And then you've got the freedom stage, where you can reproduce what you've done, you can acquire more businesses and grow that way. You can harvest your profits and leave it to your leadership team, take the time out of the business, whatever freedom looks like for you. So these are the kind of predictable steps that every business goes through. And there are 22 business keys. These are core strategies that unlock profitable growth at each stage. So the key is to understand how to apply these strategies at what time stage within the business. So there's typically 3 to 4 strategies that are specific to each stage, but marketing is one that's consistent to all of them. So these are the 22 business keys, the core strategies that I personally coach people through. There are obviously other elements of business, but these are the core strategies that every business needs to master on its route to freedom. But as I said, marketing is a key part of every single stage, though it will evolve at every stage. It will be slightly different as you go through that process. So just very quickly to clear up something that I see a lot of people questioning: what is the difference between branding, marketing, and sales? So in a nutshell, marketing is what stimulates the demand. It creates quality leads and really positions you within the marketplace, and helps you to bring business in the first place. Then you've got sales, which is the process of turning those leads into clients. And marketing comes in afterwards as well, because you have the client care, you want to deepen the revenue per customer, and so on, and that's part of marketing too. But sales comes in after the main activity of marketing, bringing quality leads in. And branding is completely different. It has nothing really to do with marketing or sales. It's what you stand for in the market. It's what you, when people think of your business or your product or your service, what is it that they think about? So you never really own your brand. Your clients do, or the market does. It's what people think about in their mind. But of course, you can do certain things to influence the perception they have of you, the way they think and feel about your business. So marketing and sales will of course influence your brand, but the three are quite separate. So what is marketing? Marketing, according to the Chartered Institute of Marketing, it's the management process which identifies, anticipates, and supplies customer requirements efficiently and profitably. My spin on that is that it's a steady flow of qualified prospects into your business ready to become your next dream clients. So marketing can get quite complex. It's something that I've worked in and studied for more than 25 years, and there's 7 P's of the marketing mix. So behind each aspect of this, there's a lot. So behind the people element of your business, for example, we have a whole department. Our HR department is managing our people, but how they behave within the organization and externally, the way that they service your customers, the way they speak on the phone, all of these things influence your position in the market. So if you're saying you're a premium product, but your people pick up the phone like, hey, what's up? You know, and they're not professional, they don't dress well, they don't follow up with their clients professionally, that's all going to have an impact on how you're seen within the market. Your processes, again, determines the quality of service and product that people get, and that's going to have an impact on how you're seen and perceived in the market. Physical evidence, this is anything that a bit more tangible, your website, your brochure, anything that people can tap into and have a snapshot of your business. These all give people an impression of your business. So if you're saying you're a premium product, but you have just a flyer that's not professionally produced and designed, it's on paper instead of nice card or glossy paper, or your website hasn't been updated for several years, then this is all going to determine how people feel about your business. Price, of course, is a huge one. If you say you're a premium product, but then you've got a low pricing, then that's a mismatch and it's not going to work. Promotion is also all the visibility, what people, if you say marketing is what people instantly thinking about, advertising, so content marketing, all these different things, where you're getting visible and in front of the marketplace. Of course, that has a huge impact on how you're seen. The place is where you distribute your products. So again, if it's a premium product you're trying to market, but you're putting it out there in sort of the cheap shops or Maxi Bazaar, for example, then people aren't going to feel that you have a premium offering, and your product, of course, is a huge part. So all these 7 P's have to work together to give people a consistent and coherent image of your product or service and how you deliver that, so they can start to build the expectations for their business. So managing each of these 7 is really important. So if you feel that you're nailing your promotion and you're getting everything right, but you've got a lot of leads coming but then none of them are becoming clients, you need to look at other things. Maybe the pricing is off. Maybe the product isn't matching up to their expectations. Maybe your website is letting people down. There's maybe something in these 7 elements that is holding people back. So it's good to take a step back and look at how these all work together. However, if you're a small business, that can feel quite overwhelming. So there's the other element of marketing where you can simply focus on know, like, and trust. So know is people have to know you exist, what you offer. They have to know that you solve their problem before they can take a next step within your business. Then they need to like you. They need to like what you offer, like how you solve their problem, what your offering is. They have to really have some kind of connection with that, and then they need to trust you. And that trust and credibility is key. If they don't trust you, they will not buy or invest unless you've got a very cheap impulse product. You're not going to get very far. And once they trust you, then you have the basis for a loyal customer that's going to stay with you for the long term, which is what we're really aiming for. We don't want clients to come in and drop out. We want to build lasting relationships with clients who will love what we do and ideally bring more clients just like them. And the key behind all of that is consistency. And this is one of the biggest mistakes I see, is that people do something once or a couple of times, but they don't do it consistently. And that doesn't build trust or credibility. If you have a friend, for example, and it's a new friend, you've met at a party, you arrange to meet and they don't show up, or they show up late, you don't build a trusting relationship with that person. If they turn up sometimes but not others and they let you down, if people don't do what they say, you don't build that trust in that person. And it's the same with your business. So you have to be consistent in everything that you do. And a lot of people feel, I know particularly smaller business owners, like, well, I've told people this, I don't need to tell them again. But you do. People need to experience you and your message at least 7 times before they even get on their radar. So you need to get that 7 times and then keep up that consistency, because people are so bombarded with messages. If you don't keep repeating your message and getting out there with a coherent image, a coherent message, and coherent quality, then people are going to forget you. It's really that simple. So you need to maintain your visibility and your consistency to build this know, like, and trust factor. So the result, if you don't achieve this, is that you have high costs. It feels like hard work. You're always pushing uphill, and few prospects coming in that are converting into ideal clients. So if you ever find yourself in this kind of situation, it's a signal that your marketing needs some kind of adjustment. Sometimes it's just the smallest of adjustments. I've had clients I've worked with, and we've just changed one sentence on their website or one placement of a button, and it's just opened everything. It's changed their whole flow of clients into their business. So there's most of my clients, it's their onboarding process is the big bottleneck, the kind of flow of how clients go from not knowing you to becoming a customer, how that whole process is mapped out and flows. There's something in there that isn't working, and as soon as we rework that and put the flow into place, it feels so much more effortless. I was talking to a client just this afternoon, and she's like, suddenly I'm getting these dream clients in and it just feels so easy and it's fun. And it was just by unblocking that process to just go back and analyze what's going on there and simplify it. We simplified it a lot. We had a lot more clarification in there and a lot more consistency of message as well. And that's all it took. That's the great thing about marketing, is when you do it right, it shouldn't be super expensive. It should just flow and work. So the biggest mistakes I see are not having a clear purpose. Just getting out there, advertising, talking about your product, setting up social media channels and putting stuff out there, but without a clear purpose behind it all that's guiding you. Not really knowing your audience. This is a huge one. And with my clients, we spend sometimes weeks trying to really define who it is that they're serving. And often people say, yeah, you've got my client avatar, it's women aged 32 to 56, and they live in this area and they all drive this car. Yes, that's it, that's my person. But for most businesses, it's actually very hard to segment their audience on a basis like that. It's more about what transformation they're looking for in their life. What is it that they want to be or feel differently? And that's the segment. So, and once you know that, and you know your audience and what exactly they're trying to get from their life, you can start to position your business very, very differently. It's I have a little process I take my clients through that I call side door marketing. And this is where you generate massive value for your clients. You really position yourself as someone who understands them on another level to anyone else. And because of that, they just come flocking to you. They really see you in a completely different way, light. It's a bit like the blue ocean strategy, but in terms of your communication and marketing. And it really positions you very differently, often in very, very simple ways. But But the more you know your audience, the more effective you're going to be in every aspect of your business. So don't scrimp on this bit or make assumptions. The other mistake is not being able to succinctly share your value. If you can't communicate it in a sentence and have people think, wow, I need that, or wow, tell me more, or gosh, that's so interesting, that's just what I need, or that's just what my uncle needs, or so and so. If you can't say it in a sentence that gets that kind of reaction, then you need to go back and think again, because there is a simple way to communicate your value and what you offer, what you do. If you ever catch yourself saying, oh, it's complicated, then you definitely need to work on this, because it shouldn't be complicated. A confused mind doesn't buy or buy into anything. And you want people to buy into your idea, your concepts, your products, your service. You need people to buy. If you don't have customers, you don't have a business. If you don't have cash flow and sales in your business, you can't get very far. So this is really, really important. So don't skip this stage either. It's not necessarily easy. It sounds easy, but it's like the simple things are always the hardest sometimes. And there's a great quote, and it's been attributed to lots of different people, but who said it doesn't matter, but it was someone who said, sorry for writing you a long letter, but I didn't have time to write a short one. So having that, being able to communicate your value in a succinct, short way that engages people and gets the reaction you want, takes time, but it's definitely time well worth spent. That didn't come out right, but hopefully you understand. Lack of confidence and leadership. This comes from not being able to share your value and believe it. I see that particularly in smaller businesses, this lack of belief can be huge. And if you don't believe it, your customer never is. People really judge you on your value, your energy, as much as anything else. And if you don't have the confidence, then that energy and passion doesn't come through either. And that's what's really engaging, particularly when you're working with people face to face. So that lack of confidence comes from not fully understanding yourself and your values and your vision and your purpose and everything else. So it's hard to be confident. It's like with yourself. It's hard to be confident in yourself if you're not clear who you are and why you're in a particular situation and what you have to offer. And it's the same in business. Lack of strategy and planning. And of course, this sounds so obvious that of course we have a strategy and a plan in our business, but so few businesses do. Even when I've been working with large corporates, I've been the one to write their business strategy for them because they didn't have anything in place. It was just assumed, oh yeah, everybody knows what we're doing. They don't. And it's worth writing, and it doesn't need to be anything complicated either. I've done some fabulous one-page marketing plans have guided a large corporate business. It doesn't need to be complicated, but you do need a strategy and you need a plan, and you need to break that into milestones and break it down. I like breaking things into 90-day projects to help move things along and get that momentum and things moving, and the learning as well. And the lack of consistency, as I was saying earlier, you need that to build a coherence, your solid positioning, and to build that trust and credibility, which is key. And only thinking external. When people think of marketing, they always think about external, about getting the clients, but you also want to be thinking about your people internally. How are you going to attract in the best people? How are you going to retain the best people? How are you going to have people who become ambassadors and love your company and can't help but spread the word and share everything that's wonderful about your business and your products? So we're going to look at those first 4 in a very simple model, and it's going to help with all of those 4 elements. And it's creating your value proposition. So I know people have a value proposition, but it's not always how it should be. Let's say that. So what you want to think about in depth and take time with this, brainstorm it with your teams, get an external consultant or coach to help you, or just your business besties, get them involved, help to kind of really work through this. So on one side, you really want to know what is it that your business believes in? What are you trying to achieve? What is your vision of a different future? What are you trying to create? What's the meaning you're trying to create in the marketplace? What are your values, and what's the value you can bring? So if you're a solopreneur, what is it that your talents bring out into the marketplace? Or if you're a business with the products and services, what difference, what value is that creating? Then on the other side, you want to really understand your clients. So as I said, you don't want to just think about their age range or their gender, where they live, what car they drive. If they were a house, what house would it be? You want to go deeper and really, what's their values? What's the vision that they see for the future and that they're looking to seek? There is a great quote by Theodore Levitt, who is a Harvard Business marketing professor, and you may have heard it, it's very famous, where he talks about the fact that people don't buy a 1/4-inch drill because they want a 1/4-inch drill. They buy a 1/4-inch drill because they want a 1/4-inch hole in the wall. But I've yet to find anyone who wants a hole in the wall. No one wants a hole in the wall. It's what they want to do with that hole. And that's what you want to think about. That's what this side of the circle is all about. Do they want that hole in the wall to hang a beautiful piece of art that has really real meaning for them? Or maybe a picture of their family or their wedding or some special event. Maybe they want a shelf and they want to put special books on that shelf, or some special souvenirs. That's what you want to know, is why do they want a hole in their wall? Always be thinking, who are my clients and why do they want a hole in the wall? And go into as much detail as possible as to what that piece of art is, what that meaning is, what it means to them, what it's going to create in their life. And if you can create that, everyone's always looking for a better life, a better transformation, and it's always around health, wealth, and relationships. So if you can relate it back to one of those 3 areas and how you help them survive and thrive in the world, then you're on a winner. So that's the kind of level of depth you want to go to. Then you want to see where those 2 align, and that's where you can place your value proposition. That's where the magic happens. That's where you can start to build everything from there. Your marketing, your products, your communications, your incentive plans, everything, your processes, everything in your business should come from where those 2 align, because that's your unique place, your unique selling point, if you like, and it all comes from there. So that's I'm quite passionate about that. If you didn't guess, it takes a lot of thinking to get that right, but it's definitely time well spent, because when you get that right, as my client was saying earlier, now her business just flows. People just flow into her business and it feels easy. And as a small business owner, you really want things to be easy. You don't have the time, the team, or the budget to be spending a fortune in developing processes and having a sales team and all this marketing if things aren't working. So get that flow, work on your value proposition. So, sorry, I should have taken the animations off. So now we're going to look at the strategy and planning and consistency. So where does that come in to the marketing? So you really want to start with your business goals. Marketing has to be completely aligned with your vision, your values, and your business strategy. If it's not, it's just not going to work. It's not going to get the results that you're looking for. It sounds very simple and obvious, but it's so often isn't the case. The number of times I've gone into a business and their sales team and their marketing have not been aligned or speaking to each other, and it's got nothing to do with their growth ambitions or their business strategy. So we've taken everything apart and put it all back together so it's all working together, and the difference is huge. And again, it saves time and money, which is what we're always looking for in business. It's maybe you want to, so you've got start with your business goals, and then these are some of the things that you can set as marketing goals. You don't want to set all of them. You want to be choosing 1 or 2 per year, and then breaking them down into, say, 90-day projects works really, really well as well. So maybe it's brand awareness you want to improve, particularly if you're new in the market. If you're just launching something new, you want to start educating people and build an understanding about what it is that you represent. Or if you've been around a while and perhaps new competitors coming in, you may want to re-energize your position. You probably most definitely want to generate quality leads coming into your business to increase market share, launch a new product, be recognized as a thought leader, particularly if you have an information product or you're a smaller business around training and coaching, that kind of product. You definitely want to be seen as a thought leader or a consultant, of course. Maybe you want to increase the revenue per customer, or as I say, looking internally, attract and retain the best talent into your business. So these are just some of the marketing goals you can have. You may have something different, but you need to determine what you want your marketing to achieve, so that you can create the right planning, the right strategy, the right planning, the right milestones, and of course the right evaluation, because you always want to be checking that it's working. And there's that famous quote from the CEO of Mars many years ago. He said this now, but I know 50% of my marketing spend is working. I just don't know which 50%. And now with online media, then you can really be specific about exactly which 50% is working, which is a real opportunity. But the key is to know what it is you're trying to achieve, know how you're going to measure that, how you're going to know if it's working, so that you can build on what works, stop what isn't working, and really make the most of your budgeting, your marketing budget all the way through, because marketing can get very costly very quickly. So you want to be keeping a handle on that as you go through. So there are two types of core marketing strategies as well. So when you come down to sort of more tactical level, there are hunter strategies and there are farmer strategies. So hunting strategies is where you're going out and getting clients, you are finding people and telling them about your business. Then farmer strategies is where you're putting content and value out there and planting the seed and letting that grow and nurturing people through. And you want to use both. So I see businesses where they do all hunting strategies and no farming strategy. So there's no consistency. There's nothing, you're going out to people and you're telling them about your business, but they can't build a relationship with you if they're not ready to buy. And only 3% of the market's ready to buy at any time if you don't have the farmer strategy to back that up. And if they want to check out who you are and you don't have any more of a presence, then it's really unbalanced. It doesn't work. But likewise, if you only have farming strategies, it takes a long time to harvest the seed you plant. So farming strategies aren't quick. So content marketing, social media, getting in the press and on TV, these kind of things, they're great for planting seeds, amazing for building awareness, but for actually getting clients and making that call to action, making people buy into what you're doing and get started with your business, it takes longer. It often takes, with social media, 6 to 12 months before you start to see a consistent lead flow from your content there, assuming you're getting it right and you're doing it consistently. So you really want to balance the two and test what works for you, because there are, I'll share with you later, I've made a list of 100 free ways you can market your business. You don't want to be doing all 100. You want to be doing somewhere between 2 and 5 maximum. But you want to see what works for you and test out new things all the time. Marketing is always changing. The market's always changing. What people prefer is always changing. Where you are, what your team is up to, that's changing and evolving and growing all the time. So you may find what works for you quickly, but it may take a bit of time to experiment as well. But don't write things off. I remember when I was I started a product business a few years back, and the idea of selling face-to-face in front of people and talking to them, I was terrified. I'd never done anything like that before. I'd always been more the kind of marketing route and the kind of employing more of the farmer strategies, not actually going out and telling people. But when I started doing it, I loved it. It was amazing. It was really fun. And I learned so much about my clients from doing that as well, and what works and what messaging worked. So it was really something that turned out to be a lot of fun. So when you're looking at what strategies work for you, test everything out. Go with your strengths, that's always a great place to start. But don't write anything off just because you haven't done it before, or you don't have the knowledge yet. There's always ways to find that out. So here are just some of the lead generation strategies you can be employing. And I said, you don't want to do all of these. You want to be looking at two to three, maximum 5 if you have a team to help you. If you're on your own, 2 to 3 maximum. So you can have an agency. That's where you pay an external third party to do the work for you. So maybe they're doing the outreach for you, or they're doing the sales calls for you, or they're doing the advertising for you, or whatever it may be. But that's where you pay other people to do some of the work for you. Content, where you're publishing high value educational content on a regular basis. This is brilliant, particularly if you're in the earlier stages where people don't know who you are. You can engage people and teach them bit by bit all about your brand and why your service is better than what's currently available, whatever that may be, but really focus on what's valuable to them, not what you think is valuable, what the client would think is valuable. And you have to meet them where they are, where their current level of understanding is, and then move them forward from there. Because that's another reason why getting to know your clients is really, really important. There's obviously digital marketing strategies, having your website, your funnel in place. Live events of any kind are great. Media, traditional like TV, radio, podcasting now, of course, it's out there, magazines. There's lots of different things you can do there, and they're brilliant because that gives you third-party endorsement, where if you say, you put out an advert and you say, I'm brilliant, you know, people are going to think, oh, well, they would say that's them talking. However, if you have an article in a magazine, even if it's an article you've written saying you're brilliant, people will assume that you've got that endorsement from the publication or the TV or whatever media it is. And so you benefit from their endorsement. So it's suddenly seen as more credible than if you're saying it for yourself, even if it's identical content, and often it is. Networking is amazing, and you can really start to build personal relationships. Of course, it takes time. It's not a fast strategy necessarily, but it can be one of the most solid. In fact, I've started all my 3 businesses based just on the network I'd created already. It really helped kickstart my businesses and has been an amazing source of insights and mentoring and support, as well as everything else. There's partnering with other businesses is an amazing strategy for small businesses, and it's fun as well, because you can do relationship marketing, affiliate marketing, you can have referral partners, you can do all sorts of different things with other people who the key thing is to make sure that they're aligned with your values and that they are targeting or appealing to your clients, and they're going to offer a high quality service that is complementary to your own but doesn't sort of cannibalize it at all, or you don't want to be in competition ideally, but if you can work together to really enhance the offer and the way you serve your client group, then there's a lot of value in that, and of course you all stand to gain from sharing each other's customers. So it's a low cost, and it can be a lot of fun working with partners. There's your print, your more traditional collateral, your flyers, your brochures, things like this that you put out there, and of course social media. I think pretty much every business needs some kind of social media presence these days. And then you have the organic, where you're putting out content and people are finding it, engaging with it. And of course there's the paid, which is great, but it has to come in at the right stage. You have to have a tested organic strategy first, or you can end up wasting a lot of money in paid social media and not getting the return that you were looking for. So once you have your strategy, you want to start working on improving the conversion rate and increasing the revenue per customer. And this is really important. So the way you can increase your conversion is by improving your brand messaging, really, and often it's just a fine tuning, like I said earlier. Sometimes it's just rewriting one sentence is enough to increase your conversion rate significantly. you want to make sure that all of your campaigns are working, that they're attracting in the right kind of people, nurturing them, they have a nice natural flow to them, and they're getting people to book calls and have those sales at the end. And then improving the way that your sales team works so that people enjoy that sales process and they understand the value to them and they can visualize that and they sign up, obviously. So those are 3 things you can do to improve your conversion rate. Then to improve the revenue per customer. So you can have each customer, if you're giving them amazing service, they love your product, then encourage them, tell them how they can be an ambassador for you, encourage them to refer people to you. Some people will talk to other people. There are people who naturally share information, but a lot of people, they just never think about it. They never think to share a service they thought was amazing with their network. But there's simple things you can do to create a referral strategy and encourage that. Then there's the giving part. So if you're a company that gives back, that is active in the community, there are 2 things. One, it shows the market that you're a premium service, that you are a company that is in it for the long haul, that you care, and it's going to really improve your positioning. But also people, when they're recommending other services, if they can say, oh, do you know this, and they also do that, it adds to your brand story and in a powerful way, and it helps people to, it attracts more people to you and encourages, again, your clients to refer you and talk positively about you in the marketplace, because suddenly they're not just telling your products, like the products are telling people about your impact, which is quite different, or your operations as well. So making sure that everything in your business is customer centric, that your messaging, your operations, your sales, everything that goes on within your organization is all focused on what's best for the client and serving them the best way possible. So once you can improve those areas, then you can really start to see big shifts in your business. And it doesn't need to take much. So here's a little profit equation. And if you want, at the end, I'll show you how you can get a blank copy of this so you can put in your own numbers and come out with your own profit equation. But here I've just taken a very simple example. So say you were generating 1,000 leads per year last year, and we increase that by just 10%. Then we just increase the conversion rate by 10%. We bring in 10% new customers as a result, plus we improve the way you retain customers by 10%. Then we have increasing the revenue per customer, again, by 10%. All these little things add up. And when we improve your costs as well, then there's a huge increase in profit. With just a 10% increase across the board, you can get almost 1,000% more profit. So it's definitely something that's worth doing, but you can only achieve this when you're tracking what's happening within your organization, when you're tracking what's working with your business, and then you can start to make the improvements, because you can see if things are working or not. You can see what's effective, and you can really focus in on doing more of that and stripping out anything that doesn't work, so you're not wasting the resources that are distracting from getting results for your business. So once you start to track the numbers, track the activity going on in your business, then you can see how you can make these improvements. And here's the incentive. This is why you want to be doing that, because just small shifts. I always guarantee my clients that work with me for 12 months that will get a 68% increase in profit guaranteed. And gosh, that's a lot. How can you guarantee that? And so, well, this is how, because they're actually going to get a lot more than that. 68% is usually very conservative for people. So it sounds like a huge number, but I'll give you a copy of this so you can plug in the numbers for yourself and see the difference that a net 10% increase would mean for your business. So here's a little wrap up take action checklist. So what you will need to do, go away and start thinking about, is how you define your USP and guarantee. So your value proposition, in other words, and how you guarantee the results that you get. And your guarantee is what will remove the risk from your client, because if they particularly if you've got a new business, product or service, then it could be a big risk for them to invest. So if you can guarantee that in some way, then you're taking the risk and demonstrating how much you believe in your product and service as well. So really take the time to look at remember the 2 circles with the value proposition in the middle, break that down, see what your value proposition is and what can you realistically guarantee for your clients to remove that risk and make it as easy as possible for them to choose you over the competition. And then make sure you create your tactical marketing plan. So this is your marketing activities. What are you actually going to be doing? And we've given you some examples. And say I've got an ebook that I've listed 100 free ways you can market your business. I'm happy to share a copy of that with you as well. Make sure you're audience focused and value driven in everything that you do. That's what's going to position you as a premium service. And as a small business, unless you have like a really large organization, going premium works best because the sell them low, stack them high kind of model only works for large companies because you make such small margins on that, and you have to invest a lot in mass marketing, which is very costly. So if you're a small business, you want to go premium wherever possible, and that's going to be achievable if you're audience focused, value driven, and you have a clear and consistent message that connects with people, that they hear and they're like, yes, that's what I'm looking for. That's exactly what I need. Tell me more about that. Then you want to be looking at creating experiences that people, can you remember an experience, right? If you just buy a product and you use it and you throw it away or whatever, that's one thing. But if you create an experience around that, then that's much more memorable. That's going to get people talking. That's going to be something different. And these experiences don't have to be big and elaborate. I'm always telling my clients about TNTs, the tiny noticeable things that you do that other people don't. The things that show that you understand your clients, that you value them, and these aren't the big investments. They're just the tiny little things that you do differently, the things that you do that make your clients notice that, wow, they knew that, or they thought about that. And that's a huge advantage for small businesses, that we can do these tiny noticeable things that make a huge difference. So look at the experiences you create around your products and services and build relationships with people. Keep your clients loyal. Look at how you can deepen the revenue per customer and encourage them to keep recommending you to other people and bringing you more of your ideal clients. And follow up, nurture people. I said only 3% of the market typically is ready to buy at any one time. So you want to stay in touch with people who show an interest, so that the moment they are ready to buy from you or invest in your kind of product or service, that you're there and they know who you are. You've already built that know, like, and trust. And so it's a very logical step for them to come and invest in you before anyone else. And typically, I think it's most sales are made between the 7th and 14th contact. It's not the first. And I say, in terms of even just getting on their radar, they need to have experienced you and your message at least 7 times as well. And there's some studies that say they have to have engaged with you for 70 hours, which is where the content marketing and the farming strategies come in valuable, because you can build those relationships over time virtually with people. You don't have to be face to face with people for 70 hours. They can hear you on a podcast, watch your YouTube videos, read some of your content, go through your funnel, join your Facebook group, come to your live events, do some networking. All of these things all add up. So always be thinking, how can it's a very useful framework to be thinking, okay, I need to spend 70 hours with each customer. How can I do that? By adding value with a consistent message in ways that are low cost, because if you're going to a large number of people and you don't know when they're ready to buy, then you don't want to be spending a lot of money in these tactics, but you do want to be investing in that nurturing campaign consciously and with intention, and having everything linked back to your business strategy, of course. So that's I say a lot of value very quickly, so we'll come to questions in a moment. But I want to let you know that if you for a lot of you that you will have taken some great notes, there would have been enough information in there for you to take the next steps or gain a new fresh insights. If you have questions, and I'm really happy to spend 30 minutes with you talking through that, where you are, how marketing could be fitting in your business and answering your questions. And anyone that books a coaching call will also be put into a free draw, and I'll be offering one scholarship to my Dream Clients Blueprint, which is a 12-week program to help you build out that pipeline to your dream clients. Go back and reinforce your foundation, understand your clients, your value, build out your value proposition, your messaging. We look at your marketing strategy, we look at your business strategy, and how everything comes together in it's quite an intense 12-week experience with weekly coaching and mindset coaching in there as well. So it's a really complete program, and for someone that books their coaching call that meets the criteria for that group, I'll be offering a scholarship as well. And as I mentioned, I'll happy to share with you the profit equation worksheet, so you can put in your own numbers, and to share with you my free ebook with the list of 100 different ways you can market your business for free, so you can get lots of ideas to keep things fresh. If you go to melitacampbell.com/IFJ, you'll find you'll be able to download those tools and book your call directly from that page, so it's nice and easy. I'll put that in the chat as well, so you have it, or take a snapshot of that page. So, questions. I've been talking a lot, so I'm sure some of you have some questions.
Yes, so Melita, there has been a few questions during your presentation. First of all, thank you so much for the very detailed presentation. It was very, very interesting. So let's start with the first questions. Does the audits part in the biggest mistakes change if you do B2B?
B2B is the same, and I see a lot of people. I think the biggest mistake with B2B is people thinking I have to be professional, and of course you want to be professional, but what people mistake that for is thinking I have to be all formal and using big words and languages and big slides with loads of information, and that is not what professional is. Professional is engaging with people, understanding what their needs are, and presenting them with information that's going to match that. So exactly the same as what I've taught here, it works exactly the same way for B2B. You just need to make sure that you understand what it is that your client is exactly looking for. So you want to be asking questions about where they're going with their business, what's making a difference, what's their biggest problem with their current supplier, or all these kind of things, and just keep asking questions until you really understand. Ideally, what you're looking for is 3 big problems that they have that your product or service can solve, and just focus on those. Forget your company history, how long you've been going, how between you've got 50 years experience and you're all amazing. They don't care about any of that. They just care that you're going to deliver them results. You're going to solve the problem. They're not going to have to worry about it. The guy you're presenting to is going to look great to his boss for having employed you. All of these things, that's what they're really looking for in your messages. So get to know your clients as much as possible and focus your entire presentation around them. Don't use a copy and paste presentation that you roll out for every single customer in the same way. There'll be obviously elements that are going to be the same, but you want to tailor it as much as possible. So have those conversations before you get in and present what you're doing.
Right, so second question, how do you find out clients' values? Like what kind of tools can you maybe recommend?
Listening. It's the biggest thing. Just listen, really listen to your clients. And again, asking those questions to discover what it is that they're really looking for. Okay, they want the shelf, but what do they really want the shelf for? That's what you want to be digging into. And sometimes it's depending on what industry you're in, it can be a simple process. Sometimes it's a bit difficult, but now with the internet, when I started in marketing 20 odd years ago, it was really hard. You had to do your research, you had to pay agencies, you had to like get the big directories and be going through the latest industry research, going to networking to really understand between the lines, finding ways to get a cup of coffee with people to understand them. And now it's all out on the internet, and you can go to websites like Ask the Public, and it's got all the questions people ask about a certain topic. So you can really start to dig down into what people are most interested in. But listen, just find out as many ways you can to listen to what your clients' needs are and keep asking questions.
Going on to the third, how can we define milestones? How can we make marketing goals in chunks?
So there's various goal setting techniques, of course, but the classic one is using your SMART goals. So I really like dumb goals for when it comes to your big vision, particularly as a leader of an organization. You want a dumb goal. So a dumb goal is dream based. So you have to have a big, exciting vision, something that's going to push you to do more, to go further. It has to be unifying. So bring together all of your values and your beliefs and everything that you want to be creating. It has to be method based, so you have to have some kind of system behind it. So you can't just say, for example, I want to get healthy. You want to decide how you're going to, what's the method you're going to use. Are you going to do exercise? Are you going to do healthy eating, sleeping more, drinking more water, whatever it may be? It's the same with your business. You know, if you want, you have to have some kind of method behind how you're going to achieve that big goal, and it has to be behavior based. So it has to be something that's going to help you develop into the kind of person, the kind of leader that can guide your organization to that big vision. For your milestone goals, you want them to be SMART. That's, I'm sure everyone knows these, but they're specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time-based, and you can have smarter goals, which are also exciting and relevant. But if you have your big vision goal, if that's SMART, it's not going to be motivating. If you have this big goal that you know you can achieve, then that's not really going to push you to grow, or your organization to grow into something that it needs to become. So SMART goals are great for milestone goals, dumb goals for big, the kind of big, hairy, audacious goals, if you like.
Next question is more related to ICT's business. What would be the hunter strategy for ICT business? How can one do networking or referral?
So one of the easiest ways is to employ an agency that's going to ring around for you to get a list and start ringing people or knocking on doors, the boulder walking, if you like. That can be one way.
That's a funny one, the next one. What else has been so successful worldwide, including in French-speaking countries? Why?
In terms of marketing?
Yes, just like the Nespresso saying. What else?
So in marketing, in my opinion, as I say, I've worked in very large corporate, solopreneurs, lots of startups and small businesses. And the one thing that always works is understanding your audience, understanding what it is that you're creating, what's special about you, what your audience is, what your ideal clients are really looking for, and bringing those together with every business without fail. So definitely start there.
Thank you. What do you recommend for startups with low marketing budgets?
Just what I said. You know, a lot of my clients, particularly my semi-private clients that I work with in a group, they don't have a big budget at all. A lot of them are moms who are starting out part-time. They don't have any capital to invest. But as I said, this side-door marketing works amazingly well. And that comes from knowing your clients and knowing yourself, and that sweet spot between the two, and building your business there. If you can do that, you can come up with some incredible, innovative, meaningful, value-driven marketing campaigns that cost you next to nothing. But also, you know, getting out, using that, get my list of 100 free marketing ways to market your business and get out in front of your clients, because there are so many opportunities out there that don't cost money. But I see more and more people's first knee-jerk reaction is, paid ads. Oh, we're going to put money into paid ads on Google or YouTube or Facebook or wherever, and thinking it's a miracle cure. It really, really isn't. You need to prove your marketing works first and then put money behind it. It's like you need to build the car before you put the fuel in the engine, and that's what you need to do, is build out your strategies, focus in on those 2 to 3 things that work for you and your clients, then put money into it. But don't invest heaps of money in your marketing too soon, please.
100% agree. How do you find out a very qualified marketing support agency? I think that's always an issue.
Yeah, part of it is trial and error, unfortunately, but definitely go and ask for recommendations. See who other organizations are working with that works. Sometimes you'll find that an agency will work brilliantly to start with, and then something changes in the market or in your organization, or there's some shift and then they don't work anymore. But I would start with looking for recommendations, and then engage them on just a small basis, so you can test them out first before you don't want to launch like, yeah, we're going to commit for a year, anything like that. Just commit to maybe 3 months first. It's hard to achieve anything in less time than that, and see how the relationship of working together goes. Some have got very different ideas about how they like to work and what works for them, and maybe that will work for your company, maybe it doesn't, but it's hard to know. But if you have other people in a similar industry going out to similar clients to you and they've got recommendations, then definitely start there.
Next question is about someone having a business in the export of American cars to Switzerland, and he or she lives in the US. The question is, they don't have a website. They have been cold calling and emailing the clients, but they have a very few clients. And the question is, how do you build trust and relationship, especially because they have to pay the product first?
Yeah, do they need to pay the product first?
Yes.
Okay. I would find a way not to do that. But it's time. It's really it's a process, building trust. It's not something that happens instantly. You have to invest in getting known, building that name and the reputation. If you don't have a website, get one. You can have one up and running by tomorrow. If you could, and you can even do it for free. Just keep it very, very simple. Most websites are too elaborate anyway. I built my first website in '96, and I've been managing and developing websites, not the technical aspect of it, but the content and navigation for it, ever since, in some form or another. And I can tell you the simplest ones work best. So you can definitely have some kind of process. Let them know who you are, what you stand for, what your philosophy is, why you're doing what you do, the motivation behind. Like, don't discount the power of your brand story. Like, why are you doing this? Why you want to make something different for them? What is it that they're looking for from your service? On every level, these work. So it's going back to that friend story that I was telling you about earlier. The friend that is a bit flip-floppy, they don't show up very often. If you don't know why, who they are or what they stand for, again, it's really hard to trust them. So you need to build that that know, like, and trust factor with your organization. Without knowing more, it's hard to tell more details, but by all means, book a call and we can talk about that.
The next question is more about KPIs. How do you define milestones or KPIs for marketing agencies, especially from the beginning? And in order to especially build, bringing traffic to a business, and how can we know if a marketing agency is good or not? That's something you addressed, especially the KPIs. How do you set up KPIs for your marketing?
Yeah, so I mean, it's hard to give a quick answer to that. It's really going to be linked to what are you trying to achieve? What's going to make the difference for your business? What are you expecting of the agency? How do you want them to represent you? What would represent success to you? I couldn't tell you what success looks like to you without knowing more about your organization, but I would definitely take that step back and say, well, why do you want to employ them? What would be a result? What would be an investment? Of course, you don't want to be paying out for something that's not building in a good return. So I would look at all those different aspects. And go back to the marketing goals. Like earlier, you know, maybe it's brand awareness you want to build. Maybe it's launching a new product. So there's going to be very different KPIs linked to whatever you're trying to achieve.
Okay. Last question. I think it's going to be tough to answer though. How do you change a dry subject like legal GDPR into a lively issue?
Ah, that's my favorite topic. I'd love to call me. You know, I've worked in some really boring industries. I worked in, well, they sounded boring at the time. So I've worked in finance, in private banking, in corporate banking. I've worked in marine and shipping, marine engineering, hydro engineering, IT, like building computers. What and how I made those interesting, how I got a lot of free publicity in the press, because was by talking about these dry subjects in a way that's exciting. And it's all about that shelf on the wall. What do people want from GDPR? I mean, you're not talking about even though you may be going into details about how people can protect themselves correctly, you still want to be, you know, that's not what they really want to know. They want to know that they have a future in their business, what that's going to look like. So you want to make sure that everything is always connected to what they want from those holes on the wall. And that's how you make it exciting.
All right, so I will let you conclude. Melita?
Sorry?
I will let you conclude.
Oh, yes. So, well, that's it. So as I say, I can go back and put the link slide. If you want a copy, if you want to book a call, if you want to know more about your specific question, I say it's quite difficult to give a quick answer without knowing more context, but book that call and we can certainly go into more details and download the profit equation worksheet and the 100 free ways to market. So melitacampbell.com IFJ, and let's continue the conversation on social. You'll find me, just search Melita Campbell anywhere and you'll find me, or go on to the podcast, the Driven Female Entrepreneur podcast. Every week I interview a different woman about how she's got started in a business, how she succeeded, and what tips she has to pass on to other business owners. I speak with women, but what they share is relevant for every business owner at every level, I believe. And really interesting that the more interviews I have, the clearer it becomes that the turning point in all of their businesses was when they discovered what it is that they really want to create. And they had the courage to be themselves, to live their vision, and to really connect only with their dream clients and make that happen. So listening, it's fascinating.
Thanks. So now just for the conclusion from IFJ, I'm just going to switch to Paul. So just I'm just going to thank my partners for making that kind of event. The next event will be about how to build a promotional video. That's something you addressed, Melita, about content marketing. So that's Barry Choco, which is a videographer in the Romandie, is going to help you to better understand how to make that happen by yourself. So that's going to be on the 22nd of October, also online. Otherwise, it would be very much appreciated if you can do the feedback form. It will be also a great tool for Melita to have feedback from that presentation. So you can either scan the QR code, or there's going to be also the link on the chat. Voilà, thank you so much for your attention and be so many tonight. And I wish you a beautiful evening. Take care and be safe.
Thanks, everyone.